Did you ever feel lonely when you were here in Australia?
Well, you can even feel lonely when you're in a crowd. So loneliness is a big part. I think it's intertwined with migration. Firstly is when you migrate, you want to broaden your horizon and make your life, like your whole life, bigger. So expand your horizon, not just looking for the people of your own nationality.
One most important non-negotiable, like this is something you got to do it if you want to be successful here in Australia.
Not being afraid of failure. Prepare for failure.
Yeah.
Because it's a part of the success journey, apparently.
So true. Yeah. You got to see the low to enjoy the high.
Exactly.
Maybe two things that can really help an international student to achieve permanent residency in a short span of time. Welcome to Englishwise. We have Nadia Mofrad with us from Iran. She is a marketing professional, double master degree holder here in Australia and has over 90,000 Instagram followers. She's someone who I wanted to interview for a very long time. She's a successful professional here in Australia, ex-international student, and she's someone you can really learn from if you are an international student here in Australia or a migrant. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Shivi.
How are you feeling today?
I'm very well, thank you.
That's awesome. First day in Australia, do you remember how it was? You arrived in Australia in 2018. Can you recall your first day here in Australia?
It all seems like a very far dream right now. When I arrived in Australia, I had no imagination about what's waiting for me. I really know about the university itself, but about the city and how's everything like. I thought that I'm gonna see some kangaroos on the street. So I felt like there's a lack of information there about the real life in Australia, especially social media. That's why I started my Instagram. But Australia showed me all the kindness that they could. Like university came pick me up from the airport, made things look very much easier. So I had someone to be there waiting for me, taking me to my place. And it all went really well because of everyone's kindness and this country being a really good country.
Yeah. And what do you think? What are those top 3 skills that you believe that this country has really taught you? Like the people, the environment. What are those top 3 skills that you?
I'd say the first one is actually not being afraid of trying things, and don't be scared. Like just if, for example, English being your second language, it's always like you always have this fear in the back of your mind, like what if I talk and say something wrong? But the good thing is that Australians and everyone here are very understanding of this matter. And because this country is a very diverse country, I learned that I just don't have to fear and say whatever is my mind, even if it comes out with a few grammatical mistakes. And I learn as I go with that, because everyone's very welcoming to the diversity and all different accents.
Just like Nike says, just do it.
Just do it. Yes, exactly.
Get rid of your fear and take the first step.
Take the first step. And I'd say the second one was how to cook.
How to cook.
Because I didn't have to worry about that prior migration. And that was a big challenge initially. So Australia taught me that. And also how to manage life by your own. So it's having, for example, some budgeting, like learn how to budget, learn how to manage your time, especially having all the responsibilities falling on your shoulders when you're all by yourself. So it was a big challenge initially, but I think you learn as you go.
Yes. That's so true. I'm curious to know, how did you learn the cooking? From where did you learn cooking?
Well, the cooking part, it's very interesting. Instagram and YouTube is very helpful for sure. There's plenty out there, especially because of the time difference, I couldn't call my mom for lunchtime, only for the dinner. But I had a very good lecture that she taught me about meal prep. I didn't know about meal prep prior that because I always had like a fresh home cooked food. So, and it took so much time to cook for each and every meal. She told me that, okay, you can just cook over the weekend, 2-3 different foods and pack it up, put it in the freezer. oh, really? Seems very simple, but it really helped my life and made it much easier.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. And you achieved a very important goal every international student aim for, which is permanent residency, in a very short period of time.
Yes.
Things have now become quite challenging. I believe they've always been a little challenging around permanent residency, but you just did it in such a short span of time. How did you do it? I know you're not a migration agent, but if you can give some tips, let's put it this way, maybe two things that can really help an international student to achieve permanent residency in a short span of time.
Well, I got it with 189 through mechanical engineering, which was my bachelor degree. My recommendation is firstly to learn about their options very well. They have to, because there's plenty of different visas that can work for anyone. It's so important to have a chat with someone who's expert in this area and they have a clear understanding of what works best for them, and then put all their focus and heart to achieving all their requirements on that. For example, for me, it was a skill visa 189 and 190, and I needed to get all those points. So I had to focus on all the different ways that I can get to 95 points, because it was very competitive, especially back then. It's a little bit, it just adjusted a little bit more. Now people can get with 80, 85 or even sometimes less right now. But in the previous government, it was a little bit less capacity. So I had to do whatever is required. So I had to get the highest English point. In PTE, I had to get my NAATI exam done, and professional year, 1 year of experience.
Wow.
Yeah, I've done it all. So, and before the age is passing the limit, so
that's another
having
thing.
A master degree, which was good. It worked my favor. Coming here to study.
Yeah. Too many things.
Too many things, yes.
How did you manage all this?
I'm not gonna lie, it was very difficult. It was the hardest time of my life. But to overcome it, I was always reminding myself, if anyone else could do it, you can do it too. Look at all the people who got their permanent residency. It's not something that is not achievable. So it is achievable, it is doable. And I was just reminding myself, it's not like you're not doing impossible. It is possible. It's just like persistent, hard work. And because I also had to work to have some income as well, preparation for PTE, NAATI, it was all after work.
Wow.
Quite challenging.
Yeah.
I didn't get much of the sleep during that time.
Right.
But I guess if you remind yourself about the goals, about how everyone else is getting it, and how your life is going to be different with achieving this. So you put enough hard work for that.
What I'm understanding is you kind of trained your mind that if others can do it, I can do it too.
Yes.
So I think we all have an option. Mind is a tricky matter. It can go either way. You have to consciously choose which direction you want to think, because there's a flip side to it where a lot of people struggle and they,
you can easily go downward.
Or you focus on,
I can't do it. It's okay. Anyone else could, but I can't. This can be the downward.
But do you think, is it more of your personality that you are generally more positive, or I'm
a very pessimistic person and I'm a fighter. So I go get it. If I set a goal, I'll go get it, go for it. I think it's important, especially for migration. Anyone who wants to come to any country, they have to decide that it is not going to be a red carpet. So it's going to be a very rocky road. Yes. And they have to wear their armor on, put their armor on and just get to the road.
Yeah. But it's such a fulfilling experience, isn't it?
It's
like an achievement. lifetime achievement.
I learned a lot. I
Yeah.
grow a lot as a person with migration. Yes, not the same person anymore.
Yes, I can imagine.
Yes.
So let's say if someone tends to think a little bit negative, or someone who is not a fighter like you, how can you guide them? Like, what is
say,
it you would like
yeah,
to tell them? Like, how can-
having a good support system can help a lot. And also, if it's friends, if it's a good mentor, if it's a good teacher, it all can be helpful, because like we all have those moments. And it's not like I didn't. I also had those moments that I was very close to get 79 plus, and reading hit me to the ground twice. And you need someone to catch your hand and be like, it's okay, carry on. So I think support system is very important. And you also, even if like, I know finding friends, it can be really challenging with migration. Even if they don't have a support system here, reach out to their family, talk to someone that thankfully we are in the era of technology, so they can really easily video call to anyone and around the world. So I think it's good, it's important. And also something else that's really helpful is to have a vision board, or to have something that reminds them of the goal, the other side. Once you achieve it, it's going to be like this. So if it's just doing some meditation and imagining your life, having your permanent residency, getting your dream job, and not to worry about any visa anymore. So it's like just imagining it, or having a vision board of something that is the other side of or having it can be actually a result of a person with a 79 plus, and putting your photo up there instead of the person. You can just have it that visual. So I think that can be really helpful.
Law of attraction.
Law of attraction, yeah.
So Nadia, what I understand is two things. One, ask for help. You need to have a support system, but you cannot have it if you are not asking for help. And the second is vision board. That was very interesting. I can share my own experience.
Yes, please.
When I was an international student, I had this vision board where I had a certain amount of cash that I wanted to save up. It was about $200,000. And I probably had, I think, $3,000 or $4,000 in my bank account. And I think 2 years later, I had $200,000 in my bank account. I had a car that I wanted, and I also got a wife much later on.
Well
exactly how I wanted. So I can stamp on what you just said.
Yes, it
vision
really
board
works.
really works.
It does.
And guys, if you want a support system and you're struggling to seek help, you can follow Nadia. She's an expert.
Happy to help them. Yeah, thank you.
She shares her journey as an international student here in Australia on her Instagram. Very inspirational, and I've seen her post. You're doing a great job.
Thank you very much.
I think we all are busy in setting up our own lives here in Australia, but taking some time out to help and support others is a great cause. So thank you so much for helping international students.
It's very rewarding.
Yes.
I'm happy to help. Seeing that I can make an impact. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah. I think all human beings, we all have something deep down where we want to make an impact.
Exactly.
And not many people get that platform. And well done. Loneliness is a big issue in Australia for a lot of international students and migrants. When they come here, it's a completely different environment. There are many factors to it. Did you ever feel lonely when you were here in Australia?
Well, you can even feel lonely when you're in a crowd. So loneliness is a big part. I think it's intertwined with migration. However, I can share a few tips that can be helpful. Firstly is when you migrate, you want to broaden your horizon and make your life, your whole life bigger. So expand your horizon, not not just looking for the people of your own nationality. It's important because flexibility of like you can be friends with any other nation. It can bring more options for you, and also you can learn a lot from people of the different nationalities. Some people, when they migrate, it's actually easier to stay on the what they say, your comfort zone. Yes, staying in your comfort zone, having a chat with someone of your background, like you don't have to learn a lot.
That's right.
So it's easier, but there's not many options like that. So sometimes just have to, again, just do it.
Just do it.
Start a conversation with anyone from any nationality. Don't be afraid. People can be friends from diverse backgrounds. So it's important that go for it and have a chat and learn from others. It actually make your life much better because you learn life from different points of view too. Learning different cuisines, for example.
That's true. How can you do that? How can you take that first step? Let's say
it's very scary. I'm not gonna lie. It's so scary.
Yeah.
To approach to someone who's from different world, different background, looks even different, and say, hi, I'm here. Hello, how was your day?
Yeah.
But I think university life was very helpful, especially for students. I think it's a blessing that we have. We are we have the opportunity to have a chat with our classmates, start a conversation about our courses, whatever is happening at different parties in the dormitory and all that. It's very important that like it's a positive side of a student life. But I think it's just a big challenge. I really don't have a golden formula for that. Not
right.
really. That's not a proper answer. But don't be afraid of starting the conversation.
And that makes sense. I think there's no like set formula as to how to approach someone. It really depends on the situation. But as you said, you just got to do it, make that effort.
Yes.
Do you think in that process you lose a bit of who you are? Because I have seen some students, you see they're trying to be something just to gel in, with others, and that's not who they are. You sometimes tend to see that. So can you still be yourself and have a good network with a variety of people from different backgrounds and have that
Yeah, I think it's
feeling.
important to stick to your roots and exactly the way that you're learning from other nationalities, they're also learning about your nationality and your roots. So it's like it's important to not to it's good to progress and become a better person, but not to change entirely. Changing to the core is a bit scary and dangerous. It can happen with migration, but it also can help you grow and become a better person, better version of yourself, learning more. So I think it's important to have that confidence within yourself that you are good and you have enough to offer in a friendship, in a networking system.
Talking about your first job, I think nobody ever forgets their first job in Australia.
Yes.
I am curious to know, what was your first job? How did you land that job? And how did you grow from there? Because who you are as a professional today is something I'm really proud of. And I know many international students, they struggle for years and years to make a career in a profession they really want to be in.
Yes.
So yes, if you can talk about your first job and then how did you, how your journey was to where you are.
Well, I think it's very important to focus to have a very good CV and a LinkedIn. So I actually spent a lot of time getting all the help I could from the career hub of the Macquarie University.
Okay.
They were really helpful. Yeah, and also having a chat, sending even I wasn't afraid of sending my CV and spending some extra money, sending it to professionals to have a look and making it better and learning a lot. Like you need to invest time, energy to get the job your dream job. So creating a good profile on your Seek, LinkedIn, Indeed, and all that, and constantly looking for all the opportunities that are out there, and not being scared of like, okay, I don't have enough opportunity. Apply for the roles that you think you can do them very well. You'll be surprised by the opportunities that are out there. And if you only need one, it's a name of it's a game of numbers, and only one job. If you land it in Australia, then everything goes better after that.
You build on that.
Yes, you build
So what
on
was
that.
your first job?
I was an education advisor. It was basically working with sales and marketing. It wasn't exactly directly in marketing, but I used that as my gateway to marketing for my next role.
Wow.
Yeah.
Still a fancy first job. I was flipping burgers, washing cars and selling newspapers.
I didn't
to
say
start
that
with.
part. Like when I was a student, I had the casual roles. I was a social carer. Yes. Pushing the wheelchair. I was doing that too.
Yeah.
And it was a very rewarding job too, because I was helping. But wasn't exactly my profession that I wanted to follow. Yeah, we all do that as a students and international students. They're like, we have to go back a little bit and build a life from the beginning. And casual job is fine. Like, good thing about Australia is like nobody's judging you by your role.
Yes.
As long as you're content, you're happy, and the job is doing what you want.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
True. The biggest challenge students face when they're here in Australia is what they're going to put on their CV, because they've just landed in Australia. They don't have any work experience, and employers want some local experience. And that's where, there's this thing, they want a job. What are they going to put on their CV? But the employers want something. So how can they deal with that sort of challenge?
It gets tricky when it gets to that point. For me, the university's internship allocation was really helpful, because I was trying to bold that a lot in my CV. I put it on over everything else on top and have Australia written in front of it. But I think if they have the opportunity of having some internship, even if it's unpaid for a while, it can be really helpful to build up that in their resume. And also another thing is all the job descriptions is not about your local experience.
Okay.
They're mainly asking about what you can do and your skills. So some of them, like they're not writing anywhere that they really need a local experience. But if your CV is very suitable for that role, it's very important to have a look at the job description and try to match it with your CV. Especially sometimes you have some skills, but you're not writing the same words that it's in the job description. So it's important to adjust your CV based on the jobs that you're applying. You can't have only one CV and bang, 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 apply for everything and get the job.
That's what a lot of students do.
Yeah, that's a big mistake.
Right. So customize your CV according to the job you're applying for.
100%. Yes, definitely.
And how important is not important, but does it work when you're handing out your CVs physically, like going into retail stores?
I haven't done that.
You haven't done that?
No.
Yeah.
But I heard that it works a lot. But LinkedIn did the wonder for me.
You're a smart one. Just sit at home, be comfortable, be strategic. Yeah. Right. So we run English-wise. It's the biggest PTE and IELTS training institute here in Australia. English plays a very important role in applying for your permanent residency.
100%.
The English language test, such as IELTS and PTE, can be a game-changing moment for you. You scored 79 plus in PTE, 8 each, 20 points towards your permanent residency. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I'm pretty sure that played a significant role, and it was a turning point for your permanent residency. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it was the main thing in my permanent residency, because everything else, everyone else could do, but this is the game changer, like getting a highest score. Sorry, what was your question? How did I do it?
Yeah, like your thoughts on the importance of PTE.
Yeah, the importance, PTE is very important, because like you need to prepare the requirement. As I said, like what is required, you have to provide it to achieve the bigger goal.
That's right.
And also you're learning through this. You're learning a lot, you're improving your English better, which is something that you're dealing with every single day in Australia.
That's right.
So I think English test is not all that bad, that like everyone thinks, oh my God, I have to prepare and I get this exam.
There's that negative feeling already, you know, before sitting for the test.
Exactly. Trying to look at the bigger, fuller half of the glass.
Yes, that's right. And you did IELTS as well. So what is really the difference between IELTS and PTE? Because I know this for a fact that in Iran, still a lot of students sit for IELTS.
Yes.
And they're still learning about PTE. So what is really the main difference between...
We actually don't have PTE centers in Iran because of sanctions. So they have to travel to the countries around Iran for doing that. So IELTS is still more achievable for them, maybe. And I've done the IELTS test because I didn't even hear about PTE back then. But I'd say PTE was easier in achieving higher scores. And IELTS, I've done it for my student visa. PTE was the rest. So graduate visa, permanent residency, all that. And the difference is that preparation for PTE is much easier because you know what is asked from you, and like you have to just get ready for it.
And if you're a first-time test taker, you have to prepare for PTE. What should be your approach? Do you really need some coaching? Do you go to YouTube? Do you just sign up for any software? Like, what should be the approach if you are the first-time test taker?
I think it depends on how much time they have on their hand. Yeah, if you have limitless resource of time, you can just try and error, go search and like reach out, like Google it yourself. But I'd say getting a coach can be very more efficient in time, time-wise. So if I go back, I do it again. Initially, when I started preparing for PTE, I actually got a training and one-on-one instead of like anything like a class full of people. It was more expensive for sure, but I wanted to waste less time because I think time is also so valuable, especially when we have limited time in our visas left. So they explained to me how was each and every one of the parts of the PTE exam. So it's important firstly to familiarize yourself with all different type of questions that is in the exam, learning the exam templates, learning the exam questions. It's important, and what's the approach and how it is marked. So these are the fundamental of preparation for PTE before jumping into practicing and making it perfect.
You know, two things I'm really seeing the reasons of your success here in Australia. One is your fighter personality. Just do it. You just went for things. And the second is investing. You saw some of these things as an investment, not as an expense.
100%.
Investing in your CV, investing in coaching for PTE. There was this mindset that I got to spend if I want to learn. There's no free lunch. So, yeah, I think that's fantastic. So, is there anything else around this that you would like to share with the audience? Like, what are like non-negotiables on your journey to permanent residency in Australia? Maybe if we can talk about one most important non-negotiable, like this is something you got to do it if you want to be successful here in Australia.
Not being afraid of failure, because you may fail.
And that's okay.
And
Is
that's
it?
okay. Yes. It was a new concept for me when after migration. Like before that, anything I wanted to do, like I was like preparing so hard for it, and all the exams pass in first go. But in driving test in Australia was the first failure after 9 years of driving with full license in my country.
Same here.
Yeah.
I went back to
I was
L.
like, what just happened? So failure, like prepare for failure.
Yeah.
Because it's a part of the success journey, apparently.
So true. Yeah. You got to see the low to enjoy the high.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well said.
And in PTE, we're not going to go too much into the depth, but if someone's preparing for PTE, what sort of time investment we're looking at? I know it depends on how much they're aiming for. A lot.
Yes.
Right. Is there any structure that you can share in terms of how they can invest?
Yes, for sure.
And generally speaking as well, you were juggling quite a few things too. So there's PTE, there's professional year, there's your work, your uni, your NAATI CCL.
Yes.
All of this may not be happening at the same time, but some of it, I'm pretty sure, was happening at the same time. How did you manage your time, like time management technique?
So I think the good thing about PT is that there's different tasks. So what I was doing to not get bored and keep myself like awake, especially after the day full of work, like I was really tired after work. So coming home, ordering food, and then start studying, practicing.
I thought you were cooking food. Why did you order?
During PT time, no cooking. That was another investment.
Right. See,
Yes.
100%.
Yeah. So, well, it's good to just move from one task to another, not just stick with it. Read aloud and do hundreds of read aloud and then go to the write from dictation. So it's important to like do a little bit of that, a little bit of that, like you're doing a test. And especially in preparation, you don't want to become very strong in only one skill, because the exam is like checking all your skills, not only one of the tasks. So sometimes we just get comfortable with one of them and we are like, oh, perfect, I'm doing this right and I'm getting good marks. Let's do more read aloud. Or let's do more write from dictation, but you're missing out on the reorder paragraph. So it's important to have that balance and work around like that, and also it keeps you awake and your brain is also always on like working, functioning very well.
A lot of coffees.
A lot of coffees, yeah, for sure. Coffee helps.
Coffee helps.
Just subtitle. Yes, lots of coffee. Yeah, 100%, and keep hydrated.
Yeah, if you're having a lot of coffee, for sure. Since we talk about coffee, I would like to talk a little bit about health. Do you think that health can be ignored when you're an international student? And I think a lot of students do ignore health. So what are your thoughts on that? How did you manage your health? Because there was so much going on.
Can I be honest, Frank?
Yeah, please.
I didn't manage. Yes. And I think it's one of the parts that if I go back, I'll do better. Because when you're not focusing on your workout and health and eating healthy, once you achieve the PT scores, you're like, oh, what have I done with my body? Life is not all about achieving the PT score. It's like it goes on after that.
Yeah.
So having the bigger picture is important. If I give a word of advice, is to try to have at least half an hour of running or walking or gym during your day. It also helps you be more motivated and happier throughout the process. It's not a time that is gone. It's Again, it's an investment. It's another investment. Exactly.
Yeah. Have you done a bit of networking here in Australia, like going to networking events or meeting professionals from the industry?
I literally didn't miss on any opportunity because I think when we come here, we have no network. growing up in our own home country, our parents done the big job for us. Like we already growing up knowing in so many successful people, and they done the networking, and their parents did the networking for them too. But here you have no one. Like you come here, like maybe people have some family here, but like building up your network is so important. So focusing on all the opportunities, if there's university function, if there's a career hub, if there is a BNI, like all that, like breakfast with the boss, beer with the boss, all these things. There's plenty of the networking opportunities happening. It's just a matter of you searching for it and looking for it.
Yes.
And investing some time in it, because having a good network is your network is your net worth.
Yes.
Remember that. It's very, very important. And in LinkedIn, I think it's important not to just follow and connect with everyone. It's being strategic is important. Connect with people within the same area of work, the people who you want to network, not just because you have some common connections. Because I see sometimes I get connection requests that I don't understand what is the strategy behind this networking. So it's good to not be that type of person and have some mindset.
And unfollow some people for sure. I've been accepting anybody and everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Being selective can help a lot. Yeah.
Something I've just learned. Thank you. Right. Yeah, I have seen your LinkedIn profile as well. It's quite strategic, and I could see that you have put in a lot of work into it. So I think networking, your CV, how your LinkedIn looks like, can really put you in a better spot to get a job. And this is something not very often international students do.
Yeah.
So I think that's great. And this is something that, we can start doing and make a change. So when you did a lot of networking, and I'm pretty sure you still do, what was really the outcome of it? Like how is it going to really help them? And what sort of approach should be there when you are at the networking event?
First thing, I think it's hard for international students because they're actually dealing with a lot, like PTE, studying. It's normal and it's fine. So most of my networking also happened after graduation, at least. And I think it's important when you are approaching people not to be the sales guy and don't want the outcome right away. Try to build up a relationship. They say there is two different type of person. There's a hunter and there's a farmer. Hunter goes for just getting and making a sale and go to the next sale, and farmer builds up the relationship.
Great analogy. Yeah.
Yes. So I think in networking, even if you're a hunter at heart, it's good to be a farmer and try to build up the network. You don't have to get the results right away. Sometimes you plant a seed and you get the result maybe 5 years later, like some opportunity comes to someone's door. And it's important to keep the relationship, not just exchanging cards and connect in LinkedIn and go away. Every now and then say hi, how are you? And try to, even especially on LinkedIn, I always try to care about what other person's doing, like, comment. You bring yourself on top of their mind by doing so. And having those different touch points, it's important not to just, I know this person and you vanish from their life. That's not networking. It's just like knowing people.
Yeah, I love the analogy you gave, the farmer and the hunter. That's so true. I always say networking, it's not about what I can get, it's about what you can give. Because when you'll give, you will get it back.
100%. Well said.
Yeah, because I see a lot of people in the networking events, like you can see from their body language, they just want to collect the cards. They're there to just get something off people. And I think others can sense it and they won't extend their,
Exactly.
And like they can sense it. You're here just, for something very selfish. So
yeah, it's very easy to understand that. Like even if next time you're in networking event, try to look around and you will see people like that. That's very true.
Always.
And some people are very calm, trying to build a network, a connection. Even if you're in a networking event and you're just building one meaningful connection, that's enough. Like, you
That's
don't have to
enough.
meet everyone and like have everyone's card and connect with everybody.
That's so true. Yeah. Like if you're in a networking event, it's not like you're going with the target that I'm going to meet 10 people and
KPI.
figure out KPI. No KPI is required at a networking event. True. Yeah. Every nationality is a little bit different in terms of their own challenges, their own strengths, their own weaknesses. You come from Iran. There's a lot of people from Iran. They follow you. You're very well known in the community, in the Iranian community. What sort of message you would like to send them? Like maybe 3 very important things they should know or do before coming to Australia or going to any other country overseas. What is it, like those 3 things that are that like specifically you would like to kind of guide them on?
I think it's important to stick to the roots, and but at the same time try to explore and look around. Another thing I'd say is to practice your English. Like, English is important, and I'd say because we are coming from Iran and we don't have many tourists in Iran due to the current situations, and English is not being taught properly like that, very advanced in schools maybe. So it's important. Like, when I came here, I thought my English is perfect, but I was like, oh, perfect. I can understand all the American movies, but I came here and I struggled a bit like in the beginning. It's hard. So there's no end to English. Learn. And another thing I'd say is to prepare for hardship. Because so many people maybe dream about migration, and I think like there's everything is ready on the other side, and they come here and they face all the hardship and they get disheartened. So prepare for the hard. It's gonna take a lot of hard work, but the result is good. It's worth it.
Yes.
But you need to put on the hard work to getting that result.
And you got to be ready. Keep your expectations low.
Yes.
Yeah. You mentioned English, learn English. How can they learn English? Like,
you need to live and breathe English. Like, for me, that's what I did actually, at least, and it worked for me. I stopped watching any movies in Persian. And listening to any music in Persian. Like, everything become English. My music, my books, my podcast, my movies, my news, everything. I put myself in the middle of something that I'm not even following the Farsi speaking news accounts. Like, everything is in English.
Right.
Yeah. So even if you're back in Iran, you can in your own home country, you can still think about everything that you see. What is this in English? Oh, do I know this in English? Do I know this in English? Do I know that in English? That's a good practice and preparation. If you go to shopping, go shopping, and some of the words they're not telling you in an English class. All the kitchen stuff. You will learn it, and you can just Google it. Spend some time Googling it and learning it. So I think it's important to, and a part of migration is also learning about the culture of the country.
Yes.
So what is the top hot topic right now? So listening to the radio helped me a lot. Like, I'm just listening to radio on the way when I'm driving, and it helps me a lot because I understand. Oh, okay, this series is coming up on their national TV channels.
Right.
And then I go watch it, and then I have a topic to talk about at workplace. It's a hard work. It's a homework.
Yes.
But it's not like you can actually go interact with everyone very easily. Like that part of friendship, I think it's also important to have your mindset built up and have finding some common grounds with the person. So, and it helps you improve your English along the way too.
Yes.
I think that's my piece of tip.
I can see that you've done a lot of hard work.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, guys, don't worry. You will still not forget Persian.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, you will remember it.
You will still remember it. Yeah. So is there any app or any thing, any concrete tool that they can use, if or just
For English, I used a lot of Netflixing.
Netflix? Ooh, entertaining and learning
Yes,
together.
but I was learning French at the same time. I'm not sure
Okay.
if that's good for English, but
Right.
the app Drop was really helpful, and Duolingo. But for English, I think it's YouTube and Netflix, because everything is in English. There's plenty, like they just need to want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. What are your plans? Next 3-year plans. What is it that you want to achieve in next 3 years?
I want to buy a property in Australia.
Yeah.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, everything goes well, and hopefully starting my own business. I actually started a little bit of it right now.
That's awesome.
Giving LinkedIn advice is one of it.
All
Yes.
right.
And resume advice.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys. So please support Nadia if you want to improve your CV, if you want to grow in your life, you want to be successful. Here,
I'm happy to help. Yes.
happy to help. Thank you so much, Nadia. It was a wonderful podcast. I feel so happy that I interviewed you, and it was a quality content, and I think you really spoke your heart, and I genuinely feel a lot of people are going to learn from this podcast, improve their lives, and yeah, be assured you made an impact today.
Thank you very much, Shivi, for having me.
No
It was
worries.
really lovely.
Thank you. Same here. Thanks, guys.